It's time for another mock draft, 9-category head-to-head, but we're going deep here. A 20-team league, Michael Bolton.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball podcast brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter as always at redrock_bball and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Second last mock draft, I'm guessing, at this point before the NBA season starts. We're doing a 9-cat league on Yahoo. 20 teams, very deep. So those of you in deeper leagues, getting some indication of how these drafts play out. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's head it over into the draft room and see how this all goes. All right, we'll get stuck into this now. We're 40 seconds away from this mock starting out. There you can see I'm picking at number 6 in this one. I'm recording this one Tuesday night, yeah. And it's going to come out on Thursday night in the US. So a couple of days late. So if anything big happens in the meantime, that's why I haven't covered it, because I am heading away for a couple of days to get a bit of a break in before the absolute nonsense of this NBA season begins. We are 20 seconds away from this kicking off. So I'm pretty excited. So yeah, Michael Bolton, hit it again.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's go. All right, pick number 6 for me. And we have Bangu ready to go up on the clock. Bangu, let's go. 20-teamer, really deep stuff. So assists and points, extra hard to come by in this one. Space Ghost says, don't need to go that slow. Bangu goes with James Harden at number 1. Yeah, I think that's probably the direction I'm leaning. There's obviously risk associated with it. And if you are a Basketball Monster member, you can go check out my analysis of the 30-team draft that we're in the middle of. Go and check that article over there. Number 2, Luka Doncic goes at number 2. Again, I think it's really early for Luka. I don't know what people are expecting him to improve on to get to where he was last year. I don't give a shit about turnovers, but it's everything else. Like, why is he going that high? Anthony Davis goes at number 3. Some good value there for him at pick number 3. Enjoy that one. So it's a pretty solid start. I'm happy with what I'm going to get here at number 5. I'm going to get probably Steph, would be my guess. Will fall to me. I'm either going to get Steph or Towns. Or Yanni goes there at number 4. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Of course, he's just signed the Supermax deal, so congratulations to him and to Milwaukee. Karl Anthony Towns goes at number 5. That would put me on at number 6. I'll take Steph. Steph falls often to number 6, and I'm happy to take him there. I think he's clearly part of that top 5. Happy to get him at number 6, so that's setting me up there. Get some good points on the board, some strong assists, and we'll see what we can do on the way back around. Damian Lillard goes at 7. Big Chungus Nikola Jokic goes at 8. And up to pick number 9 was Kawhi Leonard. Interesting choice.
I'm a fun guy.
The King's Gambit taking Kawhi Leonard there. I'm not really sure what we're doing with Kawhi that early. Like on a per game basis, absolutely no worries, but there is inherent risk with the amount of games that he's going to miss. Trae Young then falls to Aiden at number 10. Pretty good option, I think, there for Aiden to get Trae at that spot. Now's where it gets interesting. Tatum, Booker, Embiid, Irving, Durant, LeBron, all these guys are on the board. You've got guys who are better than others. You've got risks with injuries. There's so much to decide here at this number pick with Mr. Black, and he goes with Devin Booker. No problem there. This should be Jason Tatum is my guess. I'm seeing Kyrie falling into like the 27-28 range. I don't buy that at all. It's way too late for a guy that is unbelievably good when he's on the court. Jason Tatum goes at pick number 12. Pretty stock standard, apart from, I would say, Kawhi going at number 9. Everything's been pretty stock standard so far. We've got pick number 13, and that is Justin's team, which I don't think is Justin's team because Justin didn't turn up for the draft, so somebody else is in his spot. Let's see how he goes. He takes LeBron.
LeBron James.
And then we've got Crooklyn's finest is back. Big Brooklyn fan, this bloke. Kevin Durant, what a absolute shocker for him to go at number 14. Durant looked great in that first preseason game, but the back-to-backs are the problem. With him, of course, number 15 is Joelle Embiid. Love that pick as well. And as I mentioned, Kyrie is sliding. I think Kyrie is better than most of these guys on a per-game basis. I reckon Paul George is going to go next. I reckon Bradley Beal is going to go next. And you're going to see Kyrie fall into the 20s. Almost no doubt about that. Who is picking here? It is Clark, who obviously also didn't turn up for the draft and someone else took his team. Let's see what pick he makes. Paul George, love that for the Beatle to go there at number 16. Benny Simmons goes at number 17 to Zaxter. Faku in the Compazzo. Good, very good name. Bradley Beal going at number 18. Again, just as I hate saying the word chalk, so I'm not going to say it, but that's what I mean. Just as by the book as you can get. Bam Bam Adebayo goes at number 19.
Bam, 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 bam.
And then we're about to finish the first round with who has got this pick. Wilson. Not Wilson either because they didn't show up for the draft, and we got a last minute replacement in. Wilson, make your pick, and then we will be ready to go. Let's go, Wilson. Let's finish off this round. He's online, apparently. Here we go. DeAndre Ayton. Don't mind that pick. But that means Kyrie Irving has fallen outside the top 20. Russell Westbrook, Jimmy Butler, Yusuf Nurkic, also Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is not always going to happen. Ayton will sometimes fall to the mid-20s, but I like that selection. Let's see what Wilson does on the way back around to start off round 2. Very happy with how my team looks with Steph there going at pick number 6. And of course, the more one of those top 4-5 guys falls down to you, the better pick you get back coming around in the second round. Let's see. He goes double big there. DeAndre Ayton and Yusuf Nurkic. Is it a little bit early for Nurkic? Maybe, but probably not. There is some risk with Nurkic, I think, just depending on how Stotts runs that rotation. If he plays 30 plus, he'll beat that. Russell Westbrook goes next to pair with Bam Adebayo at number 22. We know Westbrook's going to miss back-to-backs. That's not a surprise, or it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who is paying attention. So Westbrook goes there, really solid, the numbers, and another narrative with Westbrook that gets thrown around a lot is his free throws. He hit 76% of them last year. He also had a really good field goal percentage, and Kyrie Irving goes at 23 to Faku in the Compazzo. I'm going to say that name so much. And then Rudy Gobert goes at number 24.
Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert.
As a bit of a spoiler for that Kyrie pick at 23, I got Kyrie at number 18 in the 30 deep draft. So I think that's good value. Kyrie at 23 is, if he stays healthy, it's not a league-winning move, but it definitely doesn't hurt. Jim Butler, he goes next at 25, and then Gilgeous-Alexander at 26. That's pretty low for Shai. I'm seeing him go in the top 20 in a lot of spots. So that could be some real value as well for depressed Blazer fan who takes Shai there. Strong start with Embiid and Gilgeous-Alexander. And as always happens, the top of my ranking queue at the moment is Chris Paul, an injury-prone guy, and then Kristaps Porzingis. I also just got some news about Derrick White. It looks like he's going to miss a little bit of time to begin this season. They said Calden Johnson's a few weeks away, and Derrick White is going to be a bit after that. Now, a few weeks away means you're missing the first 2 weeks of the season, and White might miss 3 weeks of the year. That is not what we wanted to hear at all. The Donovan Mitchell goes next.
He's Don. He's good.
Number 27 for Don Mitchell. Again, it's early. He's never been a top 40 player before. What are we expecting to improve? Now, I am expecting him to improve, and mainly in his free throw attempt rate. That's going to be the thing that carries him forward. But there's a risk it doesn't happen. Andre Drummond goes next at 28 to pair with LeBron James. I like that. Nikola Vucevic, just as rock solid as you get for Vuce at number 29. Mo Bamba is not taking his minutes, nor is Kem Birch. Vuce, at this point, there's just no questions about him. You got questions about Drummond, about Mitchell, about Gilgeous-Alexander, about Butler. No questions about Vuce at all. Zach Levine goes at number 30. I think Levine's going to have a really solid season. Good scoring, good efficiency, handling the ball somewhat. And we are coming back to my pick, so I better start paying some attention to where we're at here. We're what are we looking at here? Fred VanVleet. Oh, man, VanVleet looked so good in that game against the Hornets yesterday. He was the best player in that court by an absolute country mile. 31 for Fred VanVleet. Yeah, that's good value to get VanVleet there. I really like that. Now, the top of my board at the moment is LaMarcus Aldridge. It's Chris Middleton. It's the Baptist John Collins. It's Kyle Lowry. And remember, some of the statistical scarcity and the value of players changes when you get into a deeper league. So Aldridge might not be sitting at this spot in most leagues, but the value of what he brings gets elevated. Chris Middleton goes at number 32. Then the Baptist John Collins goes to Mockingbird to pair with Big Chungus, and then we're getting close to my pick. We're 2 away. Aldridge or Lowry do I go with? Chris Paul goes next at 34, so now it is me on the clock. Do I get that big man in LaMarcus? Yeah, I think I put... My other option is Lowry, and I need... Assists are tough to get, aren't they? Yeah, let's take Kyle. All right. We'll go big on the next one around. All right, let's take Kyle Lowry there. Obviously, there's always going to be injury risk with him as well. So Kyle Lowry and Steph Curry to begin my draft. De'Aaron Fox. I really like what Fox is going to bring this season. I think this is a pretty solid pick. I'm thinking that Aldridge, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to punt just yet. It's probably going to be field goal percentage, but that means I need to get some rebounds and blocks. So yeah, I think Aldridge is going to fit for me in this next pick, or even Christian Wood, the crucifix, could be an option for me coming back around. Fox goes at 36. We've got Pickle Ricks here, who took Yanni with his first pick at number 4, so let's see which way he's looking to pair this up. Remember, you do not have to add a punt free throw guy there, but maybe you add Zion Williamson, who hit 10 of 11 from the free throw line in yesterday's preseason game, so that could be an option for you. He's definitely running this clock all the way down. Ja Morant goes there with Giannis, which is... Morant looks great in preseason as well. The Crucifix goes to pair with Anthony Davis at number 38. Damn it, because that's what I wanted. I think I'm going to end up with a team that's really super old here. Curry, Lowry, Aldridge. It's not ideal, but Ben in the chat asks, is it now the time to right area to draft TJ McConnell? That's a throwback to the auction mock I did last week. Good from you, Ben. Pascal Siakam goes here at number 39. This is about the right area for him. I'm like, do I just go crazy and take Zion? How convinced am I of his free throws? I'm not, but I did hear from an NBA insider yesterday that went, the Pelicans shooting coaches and Zion's form give them some pretty good hope. Well, I don't have the option now because he goes at 40. So I'm telling you now, there's some pretty optimistic things about Zion Williamson coming, that what I'm hearing at the moment. Not to say that it's a guarantee, and this is after one game, and by the time you listen to this, he might have had another game where he went 3 of 8, but it was super encouraging. Domantas Sabonis goes at number 41. That's a really strong selection there. All right, I think it's going to be Aldridge for me, or is it going to be Brandon Ingram? Jonas Valanciunas also an option. The headmaster Jamal Murray goes at 42. If I don't get Aldridge, I'm not going to get him later on. Nah, look, let's just lean into the oldness of this squad and put Aldridge in the queue if we get back that far anyway. Just to get some blocks and some rebounds onto this. Oh, here we go. Don't have that option. LaMarcus Aldridge is gone. So does that push me? Do I just go hard into a punt? And punt all big man numbers? Do I go for Jonas Valanciunas here? Miles Turner is going to be a target for me coming back in round 4. Well, Brandon Ingram was atop my queue, and Yanni's team, Pickle Ricks, just took him, so that's not ideal. This is hard in a 20-teamer, man. Look, you got to wait so long in between your picks. So I'm up at 46, and then my next one is 75. It's so far away. Gordon Hayward goes at number 45. That's a strong selection. I think Jonas is going to have to be my pick. After Hayward, it is my pick, so I better make it. Let's just take Jonas Valanciunas there. So I have adjusted the standard Yahoo settings on this one. We've gone with only the one center because two centers is obviously ludicrous. So I take Jonas Valanciunas with my third pick at number 46. I don't feel super happy about it, but again, the relative scarcity of certain numbers in a league of this size, he's an option. Like I was considering D'Angelo Russell, Marcus Smart. Now I have to wait till pick 75. I don't know what the hell is going to be available. Could Miles Turner come there? Actually, just sort of go back. 47, Mitchie Robinson goes.
And Mitch Robinson says, I'll take it from here.
Absolutely shit scared with Mitchell Robinson in terms of what Tom Thibodeau is doing with his minutes. Absolutely petrified with it. Worried big time. Wouldn't pick him there. D'Angelo Russell goes at 48. I love that pick from you, Mockingbird. That's a really strong selection. And now we're up to the team that took Kawhi and then Chris Middleton. Let's see what he is going to do. It is Porzingis. Now that's risky. You take Kawhi in round 1 and you take Porzingis in round 3. 49 for Porzingis. It's too high. It's too high for a bloke that's going to be limited in back-to-backs, limited in minutes, and missing the first month of the season. It's too high. I think in this sort of league, you want to let him fall all the way down 70s or 80s even. I think it's too high. Sorry for you. The King's Gambit, as your team is known. Yeah, that's too high for me. Who is up? It is Aiden. Aiden, you took Trey. You took Fred VanVleet. I love the start that you've had to this draft. Can you keep it going? No, because you took Buddy Hield. And I'm not a big fan of Buddy Hield at number 50. I think there are better targets on the board. DeMar DeRozan is there. Malcolm Brogdon's there. Yeah, that's not one for me to take pick 50. Someone said that I've been exposed in the chat. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm just going to throw a in there. Mr. Black. He went with Devin Booker and Zachary Levine to start this thing off, and he's now taken Drew Holiday. And I think that could end up being good value for Drew. I think it's about the right spot. His ADP's at 36, so we saw him slide quite a bit here, but this is a good area for Drew Holiday. Next up, we have In Love with the Rocco, who went with Tatum and Vooch in the first 2 rounds. You got to look at DeRozan here. You got to look at Porter here. I think Miles Turner and Brogdon, 2 Pacers as well, who should be looked at as strong options. And what we're really going to see is when we get into, say, round 6, round 7, that less flyers are going to start coming off the board because these are going to be key parts of your team. Johnny Wall goes at 52. I actually like that. I think there is value there. Of course, he does have that back-to-back risk with the Achilles that he's probably going to sit those. That hasn't been officially confirmed. I'd be pretty surprised if him and Durant and Hood and Dwight Powell, those guys all returning from Achilles tears, will be playing in back-to-backs in a compressed season. I'd be pretty surprised if that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd be surprised. Justin's team takes DeMar DeRozan. That is really good. I think that's a good value pick for DeRozan at that spot. His assists have been up lately, and with Derek White now missing the beginning of the season, that helps DeRozan as well. Just a little bit more usage, a little bit more ball handling coming his way. Derek White, man, I wish he wasn't injured. He was going to have a massive year, and it's going to cut his value down. Now, Crooklyn's Finest takes Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. to go with Durant and Mitchell. Again, Jackson, he's missing the first month of the season. There's a risk there. It's too early for Triple J. And then Michael Porter Jr. goes on the team that drafted Embiid and Gilgeous-Alexander, and that looks really good. That's a strong start in terms of acquiring value at the draft. All right. Who is up now? Clark goes with Malcolm Brogdon. Strong pick there. Brogdon looked pretty good in the first preseason game. Who's this one now? It's Team Zaxter. All right, Zaxter, let's go. Hassan Whiteside. Yeah, here we go. 57. Is it too high? Yeah, probably not. It's probably around the right spot. Who is... what do we got next? Faku in the Campazzo, who started out really strong, and then again, a nice guard play for him to get Jaylen Brown to add to his scoring. Brown's a little bit further down my list than where he was picked here, but I don't think it's a bad selection at all. We've got that was Faku in the Campazzo at 58. Sorry, taking Jaylen Brown. What do we got? Wu-Tang. What are you going to do with your pick? Miles Turner. Yeah, it was a dream to have him come back around to me. And then DeJounte Murray finishes off that round and paired with Derek White. So going with the 2 Spurs point guards. Now, that whoever that was, Wilson, may not have heard that news about Derrick White, so I can't really fault him for that information. But let's hit the music anyway.
Maximum Derrick.
But that's probably a little bit early for White, given the injury situation. I would have taken Marcus Smart there ahead of him. Brook Lopez is around as well. Toby Harris, the boringest pick in the league, but really solid at pick number 62. Good value there for him. Marcus Smart, Faku, love what you were doing. Faku in the Campazzo. Getting Marcus Smart, his team just looking super strong at the moment. That's a really good pick. Someone said that Marcus Smart pick was too early. And I'm going to say no, it was too late. Lonzo Ball goes at number 64. That's solid from Lonzo. The worry you have is the pace that Van Gundy runs at and the fact that he limits his point guards and Eric Bledsoe's there. That probably caps Lonzo, but really good value there for Lonzo. That's a solid enough pick in that area. Draymond Green, the name that's sort of hanging around for me here at the top of my rankings. Nerlens Noel also coming in really high in my rankings, but I'm never going to pick him in this area. I think it's important to note here as well. Like Aiden said, that's way too early for Smart, and everyone chimed in and said, no, it's about right. And he goes, I got him at 123. So many leagues are all over the shop with what they're doing. Someone messaged me the other day, hey, what should I do on my waiver wire? He goes, it's a 10-team league, and his waiver wire had Derrick White, it had McCall Bridges, and it had Brook Lopez. And that's not a 10-team league. That's a league full of people who I don't think have ever seen an NBA game in their life. And you just realize that there are some weird leagues out there. After Lonzo, it was Clint Capella, it was Bob Covington, and it was CJ McCollum. So a good run of selections there. Draymond's still around. Is that the direction I want to go? It probably isn't. But I'm also not ruling Draymond out. Maybe it is Draymond for me. Just going to quickly slide him into my queue like a Draymond Green Snapchat dick pic. What is next? Kelly Oubre Jr. goes at 68. I'm a little bit lower on Oubre, but I don't think that's a poor selection at all. Everyone here just really, and I know most of these people, all these people are people that follow me, and majority or a large selection of them are Basketball Monster members. So it is hard to draft against these guys when they're basing things off my own projections. Tony Warren Jr. goes next at 69. Let's hit it.
Giggity.
And then Wendell Carter at 70. A little bit worried about Wendell at the moment with some of his poor shooting, but the fact that he's got the ball, that he's having the ability to shoot the shots, not get them in, but to shoot them and to pass a bit is still pretty good for me. We are at number 71 after Buddy Hield went last time to this team. Which team is it? Aiden. Let's see what he does. Make your pick. Instead of talking about Marcus Smart, just make a pick. Lauri Markkanen. Woof. Markkanen looks shithouse in that second game. He's so inconsistent, and as always with him, the problem is that lack of defense and lack of defensive stats. Brook Lopez goes next, followed by the Padawan Colin Sexton. We are coming up to my pick. It looks like it's going to be Draymond for me, which I didn't really think that I would get, and it's a whole bunch of old guys, but I think Draymond might be my guy. Andy Wiggins. Oh, that is the woofiest pick I've ever woofed. That is rank. Ugh, Wiggins at 6. I can't even concentrate. It's 74. Oh, Jesus. The other option for me here. Screw Draymond. Oh, let's go a little bit younger. Let's take the tank. Tom Bryant. Screw you, Draymond. I'm taking Tom Bryant. Eric Bledsoe next. That's a good one at 76. Some real strong value there. We just don't know how the Pelicans are going to run that. He didn't play in their first preseason game as well. Top of my list here is Draymond. It's Nerlens Noel. It's OG Anunoby.
But what about scarves?
OG.
Balenciaga
Stop
ones.
OG. You better stop OG.
And I'm probably going to look... I'm going to look to get Kobe White on the way back around, but this bastard took him. So it went Bledsoe, Kobe White, and McCall Bridges at 78. Kevin Love at 79. Do I just go in? Do I lean into Markelle Fultz? You know I want to. If I can get back around to him. And that's Kevin Love. And then Anunoby does go, followed by Davis Bertans and Devontae Graham. Probably a little early for Bertans at 81. Probably a little early for Graham at 82. I've been really impressed with LaMelo Ball. He just is exciting. He's just so exciting to watch. And he hit a couple of threes in that game against the Raptors. I thought he looked pretty good. Brandon Clark, I just don't love it. I love Brandon Clark. I don't see it at pick 83. It feels too high for a one-category specialist. And I said the same with Mitch Robinson, even though he's a two-category specialist. He's a blocks and field goal percentage guy. So Brandon Clark goes. This is likely going to leave me... Is Draymond going to be here for me for the next pick? Shit. Oh, maybe that's the move. Huh. Yeah, maybe Draymond. Is it Draymond or is it Fultzy? Got 2 picks before it's mine. There he is, the double royal, Julius Randle. I didn't have the choice between Fultz because he just went to Luke at number 85, so that puts me up. And you know what? I was going to take him last time. I'll take him now. Draymond Green. Welcome to the team. It's late for Draymond. His ADP's 58. I just got him at 86. Al Horford goes at 87. That's good value from you, Path. After you just really took a dump on your draft with the last pick at Andy Wiggins, you redeemed yourself there at that selection for Al Horford. And now we're back to Mockingbird. So I'm happy with my team at the moment. Curry, Lowry, Valanciunas, Draymond, and Tom Bryant. It's looking okay. I wouldn't say it's spectacularly good, but it's looking okay. It's up the top at the moment in terms of projected standing, so that's handy. Oh, that's too early. Ravishing Rick Rubio goes next to Mockingbird. Yeah, it's too early. I don't know what Rubio's role is going to be, but given how they ran their rotation in the first preseason game, it's going to be marginal as a backup. And with Edwards, Okogie, Culver, Beasley, Russell, all those guys are going to get minutes. It's hard to see it. Nerlens Noel goes to the Kings Gambit there. I like that pick from you, Noel. Is it a little bit early? No, it's probably not. At number 89, I think that's probably okay to get Nerlens there. My team has very little upside at this point, apart from Tom Bryant, I think, who can blow for all. Draymond can beat his ADP. That's true. So there's a little upside, but I'm just trying to solidify it. We get the upside picks coming in later in a draft like this. So we've only had 5 picks and we're 90 picks in. This is Aiden, again, looking to make a pick. Oh, and he goes with Tyler Hero.
Everyone has a hero. True. 0 people shouldn't have a hero. Yeah.
Hero's fine. I think he's going to have some percentage issues. I think he's going to have some counting stats issues, but he's going to score. It's maybe it's a little high for him. Who are we at to now? It's Mr. Black. Pick number 91. I'm a long way off. My next pick is 115, so I might as well just... I'm just going to talk. That's what I do. That's what this podcast is about, me talking. All right, what have we got now? Boog Cousins goes at number 91. He's looked so good. He is going to be the backup to Christian Wood. He's actually got upside at this spot. This is good. I think we should be looking at the Victor Oladipo range here too. Blake Griffin goes at 92. Kemba Walker goes at 93. Let's look at the Kemba team. Do they have any other injured guys? No. So that's a solid pick. But again, in a draft like this, it's your 5th guy and he's going to miss the start of the season and probably be limited. It is absolutely a risk. Whereas in a regular draft, this might be your 8th or 9th pick. And that's a lot more palatable. As you see with my team, I haven't taken anyone who's injured in these first few picks. I'm not keen on doing that. The Italian cock, there he is.
Hands off my cock!
Danilo Gallinari goes at number 94. I think he's looked pretty good in the preseason. He's got a bit of a cap on his upside because of the minutes and his role, but that's fine in this area. Probably wouldn't have been the guy that I selected. And then Steve Adams goes. Adams looked terrible next to Zion in that first game, but he can be better than that, but he was terrible. Very limited upside for Steve, but at 96, I think we really talk too negatively about that selection there. Who are we? Clark. All right, Clark, let's go. Bojan Bogdanovic. There was some concern that Bojan wouldn't be ready to begin the season, but he's played in the preseason, so he's fine. He's going to be that nice scorer, hit some threes with good free throw percentage. So that's a solid pick. While Evan Fournier goes to Zaxter at 97. Not sure about that. It's not bad. Fournier was the 70th ranked player last year because his shooting was amazing. He'll probably do a little bit of ball handling this year as well. So it's not a bad pick. Yeah, I can't complain too much. Oladipo's sliding here. We've got to start to look at him. Like, people took the risks on Porzingis and Jaren Jackson. Oladipo's playing. Now, he wasn't good in that first preseason game in terms of his efficiency, but so many guys have struggled with their efficiency so far in the preseason. Facu in the Campazzo takes Mike Conley. I love that pick for Facu. Really, really solid pick. And by the way, guys, Facu Campazzo, if you're in an ESPN league, he's not even available, which is absolute negligence. ESPN's fantasy department is just consistent negligence. And I'm not necessarily blaming the people who even write stuff there, because it's a back-end thing. It is absolute negligence, though. And that's why you shouldn't be playing over on ESPN. Richaun Holmes goes next at 100. There is some real upside in that selection from Holmesy, who I do believe will remain the starter. I don't know for sure, but I do believe he will remain the starter. And now we're ready for pick number... Well, that was pick 99 for Holmesy. Pick number 100 here to finish off round 5 for the team that had Ayton, Nurkic, DeJounte Murray, Derek White, and then the big ragu, Dante DiVincenzo, and he also backs it up in round 6 with Aaron Gordon. I like that from Aaron Gordon, who, with the throw out, has looked pretty good so far in preseason. So pretty happy with how that is looking. My team also, I think I'm okay with how they're going. They're a little bit too balanced for my tastes, my squad. Going to need to strengthen up some other categories, though. Marvin Bagley at 102. Yeah, I think there are better guys around. Who do I want with my next pick? This is the question for me. I've loved what I've seen from Paul Washington Jr. In the preseason. Alfred Payton is an option for me here. Darius Bazley, LaMelo Ball, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Jeremy Grant, despite how shit he's been. He could be a guy, but we're still 12 picks away from my selection. Facu looking to make another strong pick. He's not up the top. Actually, the top of my projections at the moment is Bangu, who had pick number 1 and went with James Harden, backed up with Zion Williamson. Now, if Williamson's free throws are bad, that is not a great combination with Harden, but if they're good, then it's fine. Norman Powell goes after Bagley, and then Darius Bazley goes at 104. That's the right area for both of those guys, I believe. But Oladipo's still around. If he's available to me, I'll pick him. Because we're in the hundreds, and we're going to be at 115 when it gets to my selection. So somebody's got to take Vic here, surely, coming up in these next couple of picks. I don't want to do it, but I will if he falls. And it is about getting some value back. And he could be a top 50 player. It's probably unlikely, but he could be a top 50 player this season. And if you get that at 115, that is where you get some value coming in. Bazley was ranked in the 600s before. He's into 140 at the moment. Oh, there goes Paul Washington Jr., so that's a name off my list. Peyton and Burks, a couple of Knicks guys. Killian Hayes up the top here. Jeremy Grant, a couple of Pistons guys. The draft just disappeared. What happened? Don't know what's going on there. Victor Oladipo goes at pick number 106. I don't know what hell just happened there with the draft, so I apologize for that. It wasn't me, it was actually a Yahoo issue, but they are back. Victor Oladipo goes there. We're up to 107, and that's Jeremy Grant. These are all guys coming off the top of my list. Lord Alfred Payton is going to be a target for me. Who's making this next selection? It is Justin's team. Peyton is an option for me. LaMelo Ball is an option for me. Yahoo just loving the malfunctions in the middle of our draft. That's awesome. And maybe this guy, LaMelo Ball. That's a good pick from Justin at that spot. Next up, we've got In Love with the Roko, who has had Tatum, Vooch, John Wall, TJ Warren, and Blake Griffin. A Wall-Griffin combination is a little bit risky, so you want to be careful with what you do here with this selection, I think, at number 109. And remember, this is only your 6th player, and he takes Killian Hayes. So a double Detroiter there from him with Griffin and Hayes. And the next selection's got a little bit of scope. Ooh, Serge Ibaka at 110. Now, Ibaka is the starting center. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, that's a good pick for Serge. All right, this is Aiden. Let's see what Aiden's going to do. Let's have a look. Bogdanovic. Good pick at 111 there for Bogdan. Did come off the bench in the second preseason game, but I don't think that he will remain there. And regardless, even if he's off the bench, he'll get enough minutes to be useful. Otto Porter at 112 is a really good pick. Dennis Schroeder at 113 is also a really good pick. We are closing in on my selection. And I think it's going to be Alfred Payton for me. Dunk Robinson goes at 114. So now it is the big fella, Josh Lloyd. It's his turn. Let's draft Lord Alfred Payton onto my team. If he's a starting point guard and Tibbs has him there, he should play good minutes and he should be able to. He can even exceed this number, I think, if he plays those solid minutes. But I don't know exactly what Tibbs is doing, but I think there is some value there, and I've got to start to build my threes category back up pretty soon. James Wiseman goes with the next one. Blunty. And now we're up to Pickled Ricks. So I think it's an okay... Look, there is a risk there with Payton. What if Thibodeau doesn't go by everything he's done in the past and plays a 25-minute starting point guard or throws a rookie out there? I can't see him doing it, but that is a risk for sure. I think, though, that with Payton named as the starting point guard, which was going to likely be the case, he's going to have significant opportunities to play and to put up some numbers, and that's why I like him there. The table Montrezl Harrell goes at 117, and while I don't like Harrell this season necessarily, I can't complain at all about him in that spot. What else have we got here? Next pick is the Prince of Dry Baths. Cool, that's an interesting name. Who is he going to select at number 118? We are not even halfway through this draft. That is how deep these things go. And he goes with Seth Curry. Like that pick. Lou Williams goes to Lou Rosa TB at 119. Yeah, I don't mind it. Not much upside, but we don't really care too much about upside at this point because of the depth of this league. And then the next selection is 120, and this will round out round 6 with Bangu, who is sitting up the top of the projections at this point. Let's see what he does. Just saw a comment saying, God damn it. Okay, I took Alfred Payton a while ago. Delayed reaction. All right, what are we doing here? So what am I going to do on this way back around? Derrick Rose goes at 120. So solid enough. Yeah, that's solid enough value. Let's see what Bangu does now on the way back around to begin round 7 at number 121. Points are almost impossible to get at this point, and even though I did draft Steph in that first round, I'm probably not going to be competitive in the points category. I need to get some defensive stats up. I need to hit some threes in here. So maybe I'm looking at Daniel Tice. Well, Karis LeVert goes at 121. Terry Rozier goes at 122. Daniel Tice, who's going to get free reign at the starting center job because Tristan Thompson's going to be out most likely to begin the season. Do I take Alec Burks at this point to get some threes and some free throw percentage? I'm not sure I want 2 Knicks on my team at this point. I think, yeah, or is there another point guard? Because if I don't get another point guard here, I'm in real strife. Maybe it is the Iron Shoulder, Goran Dragic. So after Terrence Ross, it's Will Barton. Not many other point guards around, so let's just throw Dragic in the queue, even though he's the top of this list at the moment. Just to give myself that 4th point guard, because just to solidify those assists. Like I want to get them locked in, because it's not something we can really compete in later on. Even though my team is... Well, actually, maybe not. My team is pretty good in assists. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I do want some defensive stats. Now, let's go with... after this guy makes his pick, let's take... Oh, the pick was made. Let's take Daniel Tice. That was the wiki Chris Boucher, who went at 125. I'm a little bit worried about Boucher, to be honest. Yeah, a little bit worried. Vanilla Tice? Sure, let's take Daniel Tice. I don't feel good about it. It's not high upside, but some blocks, some field goal percentage. I think that does help. what I'm looking to do anyway. All right, so after that pick, it is Dragic didn't last at all. He went at 127. Joshie Richardson goes at 128. Looked great in his first preseason game as well, Josh Richardson. So that could be some value there for sure. And now we're up to 128 for Mockingbird. Derrick Jones Jr. I like the flyer aspect of Jones Jr. At 129 in a 20-team league, I'm not sure the flyer is what you want to do. There are other guys out there that I would have taken. Joe Harris, Mason Plumlee, Alec Burks, DeAndre Jordan. But it's not horrible. Really interested to see what happens with Isaac Okoro. I'm very interested in drafting him with my next selection, which is in 1 million picks at 155. We'll see if he can get back around to me. I thought he's really good, and I think he's going to start, but Colin Sexton hasn't played. Chetty Osman missed the last game. It's hard to fully grasp, but with how he has played, I can't see them not starting Isaac Okoro. Jarrett Allen going off the board ahead of DeAndre Jordan is confusing to me. Allen, I think they're really going to minimize him. And it's shit-house coaching, but he played 15 minutes in that first game, and I don't know. I think he's really good. And if he does get traded, which I think they might do, there's supreme value. But I'm really worried about how they're going to use him in Brooklyn. It's a real concern. Darius Garland goes at 131. Garland's looked better, a bit more aggressive, better defense, stronger going to the rack. It might be a little bit early for Garland there, especially, hey, how good did Dante Exum look in that Cavs game? Whew, that was good. Exum is the backup point guard at this point, so he should be in the rotation. Jakob Poeltl, I love that one as well. Will they start Poeltl at 132? Will they start Poeltl and Aldridge? They shouldn't, but I reckon with how much Aldridge is bombing and the absence of Derek White, I reckon they might go with Poeltl and his field goal percentage, his rebounding, his blocks, really good. He's just a terrible free throw shooter though. Justin is up. Justin is ready to go. Alec Burks still around. He's got to start getting looked at here, Burksy. As does Jordan, Harris, Clarkson. We're getting into some shit areas, though. Aaron Baines is going to start to have to come off the board soon. DeAndre Jordan goes next at 133. I think that's pretty good as well to get him there. RJ Barrett, just RIP in pieces, your percentages. Barrett goes at 134, Joe Harris at 135, but I don't hate getting Barrett there. If your team can deal with it, then fine. He's going to get opportunities. He's going to get minutes. He's going to get usage. Jeff T goes at 136. My name is Jeff. I have zero interest in Jeff Teague at that spot. Joe Ingles goes next, followed by Larry Nance at 138 to Faco in the Campazzo. Nance is an interesting one. I just don't. What's his role at the moment? Is he going to play any 3, 4, and 5 with Drummond and Love there? He's going to get spot starts and going to be good, but is he going to get enough on a daily basis to be that useful? I don't know. It is a tough one. Delon Wright, 139. He's looked terrible in preseason. I wouldn't be surprised to see Svi Mikhailuk start ahead of him. I like Delon. It hasn't looked good so far. Number 140. It's good value though for right there, but I am a little bit worried. This is the end of round 7 coming up for the Liberty Lake Mastiffs, which I believe they may have changed their name because it didn't look like that before. That name, I'm sure it didn't. Oh yeah, that was Wilson. He's changed his name to the Mastiffs. All right, so what are you doing, Mastiffs, at this selection? Alec Burks, yes. All right. That's right. He was the top of my queue at this point. Starting shooting guard, hit some threes, do some scoring. The spacing he provides is probably going to be valuable, I would guess, for this Knicks team. At the moment, after 7 rounds, the King's Gambit is sitting on the top of the projections, followed by the Prince of Dry Baths, whichever team that is. Which team's the Prince of Dry Baths? Oh, the team picking number 3, and then it's my team coming in next. Bangu dropped down a little bit there. King's Gambit's an interesting one because they're the one with the injury risk. Porzingis and Kawhi. And I think when we go to the standings later, you'll see them drop down because the projected standings in the draft tracker are based on per game numbers. After Alec Burks was Maxi Kleber, it was Cam Reddish, and it was Mark Gasol.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Followed by Mason Plumlee. That's really good value from you, Zach. Team Zaxter at 144. Got to deal with the percentages, or his free throw percentage in particular, but that's really good value. Paul Millsap's sitting at the top of my queue, but I'm absolutely not confident in him whatsoever. Is he washed? He very well could be. I'm a little bit worried about what Millsap's going to provide this season. All right. What do we got next? It is 145 is the next pick. This is the team that chose Jeff Teague last time. And they've had some good picks. I love what they did with George and Butler and Brogdon and Washington. And then even this one with Aaron Baines. I just didn't really agree with the Teague selection, but that doesn't matter if I agree or not. Aaron Baines goes, Tyrese Halliburton goes, Spencer Dinwiddie goes at 147, another Brooklyn player to Crooklyn's finest. Congratulations to you for getting your hometown friends. Rui Hachimura, and while I don't like Rui Hachimura necessarily as a fantasy player or a real-life prospect, at this stage, what the hell are you complaining about? That's really, really good value there for him. We're interested to see what they do with him and Denny Avdia, how much they play them together. Could Avdia cut into Hachimura's time, but Bertans is around. I think that has a limit on Hachimura's upside because of that. In love with the Rocco is up. He takes Anthony Edwards, who, let's be honest, has not looked good in preseason so far. And I just don't know what his role is going to be. Is he going to play 27 minutes a night? I reckon he might, given the other guys and the way that they're running him through preseason at the moment. It hasn't looked great, but he's got a lot of time to improve. Ivica Zubac goes to Mr. Black at 150. We're doing 260 picks in this draft, guys. So settle your asses in and get ready. We're going to be getting deep down to the bottom of rosters. Aiden. Aiden's team, Trae Young, Fred VanVleet, Bud Hield, Lauri Markkanen, Tyler Hero, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Jarrett Allen. Some players that I'm not the biggest fans of there so far. And Tim Hardaway, which I'm not the biggest fan of either, but at that spot, that's good. I like that pick from Tim Hardaway there. The King's Gambit is up next, building his team in a pretty strong manner. What am I going to do here? I've got to start thinking about what I'm doing with my selection. Danny Green goes next to the King's Gambit at 152. He was pretty close to the top of my list as well. I'm probably going to... what am I going to do? Zubats is gone. Jay Crowder, well, that's who I was going to consider. Jay Crowder goes at 153. We're 2 picks away from mine. Getting blocks is becoming impossible, really, at this point. Rebounds tough as well. Do I just take George Hill? Gary Trent goes next at 154. I'm a bit worried about George Hill. Paul Millsap is hanging around. Is he going to do anything for me? I don't want to do it. But I'm going to have to make a call pretty soon. Now, let's take Justin Holiday, because with Tony Warren out, Holiday is going to have some opportunity. And even when Warren returns, Holiday is going to be useful for those steals. So I don't love that pick. But again, I want a little bit of solidness at this point. This is not an upside area of the draft. So getting Holiday there, especially early on, he's going to produce more, probably higher than this spot. And then he'll come back to this area, I think, as the draft continues. But not my favorite pick, but hits some threes, gets consistent amount of steals as well. I'm going to hope that Isaac Okoro is going to flip back around to me. So I'm going to throw him into my queue. Jordan Clarkson, we're going to look at him. Paul Millsap goes next. So that's one who I was considering. Luke takes him there. That's solid play to get him at that selection. I think I might have a look at Miles Bridges. I've been impressed with him in preseason. Thought he's done okay there so far. He could be an option for me. Like, how does my team actually look? What do I need? Small forward and forward. So I need to get forwards because I filled up all my utility spots so far. So I need to get those guys. Yeah, because my 2 centers, Tyson Valanciunas, don't have any power forward eligibility, nor does Tom Bryant. So I need to get some power forwards. Sorry, small forward and regular forward. Jordan Clarkson goes next at 157. So that's why you're getting Cameron Johnson goes next at 158. Getting Isaac Okoro next is going to be key. Miles Bridges fits that need for me as well. JJ Redick goes at 159 to La Russa TB, and then Bangu takes Shake Milton. Man, Shake Milton is getting so much hype, and I don't know why. I don't know what's happening with him. Luke Kennard goes next at 161. Kevin Porter goes at 162. Porter, is he even going to be there to start the season? That is the concern with his legal problems. Malik Beasley goes at 163. I'm getting worried that Okoro is going to go. But he is the guy that I want. 2 picks away. Pickle Ricks, what are you going to do, baby? Kyle Anderson's looked pretty good in preseason as well. And with Justice Winslow perpetually hurt, Jaren Jackson missing the start of the season, I think Anderson's looked really good. So he is another option here as well for his ability to get some assists and some defensive numbers with some pretty decent field goal percentage. Pickle Ricks, the time is running all the way down. Make your selection. Taylor Horton-Tucker. Now, wow, that is way too early. I know he's been great in the preseason, but Jesus Christ. He's your 9th best player. He's not even the Lakers' 9th best player. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he somehow forces Wes Matthews, Kyle Kuzma, and Markieff Morris to play behind him. I doubt it, but he's been good. He's been good. There's no doubt he's been amazing, and I love him long term. But that is, feels early to me. I was going to say it's my pick. It's not. It's Luke's pick. Luke, make your pick so I can come in and take Isaac Okoro. Luke, let's go. Pickle Ricks is now saying that it was by mistake. The painter, Matisse Thybulle, goes to Luke. So it is my turn. Let us take Isaac. Or do I take Isaac or do I take Miles Bridges? Nah, let's take Isaac there. All right, let's take Isaac Okoro at that spot. Pretty happy with that selection at 166. I think he's got some top 150 upside. There's going to be issues with his free throw percentage. I'm not fooling myself there, but my team's free throws are about 80% at the moment, including his projected negative there. And if he's better than anticipated, then that's even better for me. So I like getting Okoro there. PJ Tucker. I'm just not interested in PJ Tucker as a fantasy player. You know what? He doesn't get turnovers. That's great because he doesn't get anything else. And he's also... It's all about Harden being pissed off with Houston. PJ Tucker is equally pissed off. He is not happy with that organization at all, and he will be traded this season. I'm pretty confident. The pencil, Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. 168. Yep. Rock solid. He's going to be in your active lineup in a league this deep. Probably went a little bit late, if we're going to be honest. George Hill's really sort of sitting there. Alexei Pokusevski is going to be someone who I am looking to snag later on as well as a bit of an upsidey type of guy. Kyle Anderson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Denny Avdia. Marcus Morris is dealing with knee problems. That's a little bit worrisome. Sadaransky and Melton to get some assists, which is hard to do. Well, there goes Avdia at 169, so I don't have to worry about that. He didn't miss a shot in his preseason debut. Let's not expect that to continue, but he didn't miss a shot, so that's obviously an encouraging start to his NBA career. Who is up next? Aiden. Aiden ready to make his pick. All right. Probably need to take a drink at some point because I am very thirsty. Let's do it now. Vanderpants Kevin Huerter actually goes off the board at 170, and then Miles Bridges at 171. I like that Miles Bridges pick. I thought Bridges' passing looked pretty good in the preseason games that I've watched so far. His minutes are other concern, but they can switch PJ to center and put Bridges at the 4, which is 100% what they should be doing, and that gives him a path to minutes. So let's see how that works out for Miles Bridges. All right. Trey Lyles. Yeah, Lyles might start. He's also terrible. He's not even a top 200 guy in my opinion. I do not like that at all. Sorry, Rocco, not a fan of that Trey Lyles selection, but we are in a weird spot in the draft, and value can be extracted in this area. I think Marcus Morris, if he wasn't injured, would be someone I'd be keen on. When's my next pick? 195. Jesus, we are a fair way off for that. Another 20 or so picks. So it's hard for me to make too many plans because I'm just so far away. We are... Lugens Dort.
Bort? Oh, come on, Bort? Mommy, buy me a license plate!
No, come along, Bort.
Are you talking
Absolutely.
No, my son is also named Bort.
Sorry for speaking over the sound drop. Absolutely a fine area to take Dort. Not sure what he's going to offer. I know he had that big scoring game in the playoffs. I think you're going to get maybe one of those this year. Like, it's not going to happen consistently. Dwight Powell, that's good from you, depressed Blazers fan. He's ready to go. He's back playing already from his Achilles. He's probably going to have some days off. But at this stage, it's fine. There's just boring-ass players around here. Patrick Beverley, Kyle Anderson, like these sort of guys. It's not great numbers, is it? Faku, maybe. I wonder if Faku in the Campazzo is going to take Faku Campazzo. Number 176 is the next selection. And we are winding it down at the moment. Troy Brown, I think, is a name we should look at. Svi Mikhailuk is an option as well. Thomas Satoransky, I like that one. Again, getting those assists is tough to do. So Troy Brown did go, and then Satoransky. So two really good picks in a row there, I think. Just to get a couple of assists guys is good value for those blokes. Who is up? Faku, it's your pick. 178. Are you going to take Faku? It's getting close to that time, I would guess. DeAnthony Melton. Well, they're those names that I mentioned. Brown, Melton, and Satoransky to get some assist numbers. It's tough to do. And they are now gone. The really only assist guys left are maybe Tyus Jones and Faku. And you can't really improve your assists from here on out. I'm still looking strong in assists. But yeah. Pat Beverley was another sort of assist guy at 179. And now we're ready for pick 180 to round out round 9. 4 rounds to go after this. People really taking this seriously, which I love. Royce O'Neal, just boring as shit as well. But these are active players. These aren't bench players. These aren't flyer picks. So Royce O'Neal's boring as shit. I've got him maybe as a top 150 guy. And getting him at 180, you can't really complain with that too much. Kyle Anderson's going to be in play for me, as is Hill, Pokusevski, Finney-Smith, Campazzo, Morris. These are all going to be options for me as we come back around. I think Marcus Morris, the knee is the worry there for me, but we're getting to the stage where I've got to start looking for him. Marcus Morris, I'll throw him into the queue. George Hill just went to start this off. Number 182 was Calden Johnson, who looks like he's going to miss the beginning of the season as well. But you know that I like Calden as a bit of a flyer, but the injury to begin the year is not great. He looks strong in the bubble. Really like what he can do. I wonder if Luka Samanic is going to get any minutes, or Devin Vassell. The Spurs never play rookies, but with Johnson out, with White out, Vassell is going to play early on. He looked really, really good in their preseason debut. So maybe he can establish himself in the rotation, and maybe they just make Patty Mills a full-time coach. I don't know what they do there. There's a lot of interesting guys. And, of course, Faku in the Campazzo takes Faku Campazzo. Great stuff. TJ McConnell, there it is. TJ McConnell goes at 184. McConnell's actually playing a pretty large role for this team because TJ Warren's out. They've got to fulfill their TJ minutes. So McConnell's getting a decent role. And, again, if you want assists, not many other options around at that spot. Dylan Brooks, shithouse in Memphis' first game. Really good in the second one, but he is absolutely inconsistent. But I think this is fine. This is his area to look at him. I'm going to Chris Dunn. Well, he's going to miss the start of the season as well. And how does he even fit into the rotation? Don't love that one. I'm going to consider Kyle Anderson, mainly because I just don't have any trust in Justice Winslow at all. I don't feel good about it. I don't think anyone should ever feel good about drafting Kyle Anderson. I've got Morris in the mix there as well. A Kogi. You want one of those two for sure. Gary Harris.
Nice, Gary!
Space Ghost says, Josh, can you shout out my boy Shan? Shan or Shan? I apologize. Shan? Shan? You're a long-time listener. Shout out to you. Shan. Let's say Shan. I'm going to, you know what, Space Ghost? How do I pronounce that? Because I want to make this shout out count. Let's see. Give it to me. Gary Harris goes at 187. All right, so it's Shan. Shan, shout out to you for being a long-time listener. There you go. All right. 188 is Marquise Chris. Marquise Chris could be the starter and play 27 minutes. Marquise Chris could be literally out of the rotation for this team. Really hard to know. Alexei Pokusevsky goes at 190. I love it, but it's also your 10th player, so he's an active guy. So that's risky, but he's going to play, and he's going to be weird, and I'm here for it. I like it, Rocco. There is a risk associated, but you know what? There is upside in it for sure. I'd love to see a Basley, Dort, Pokusevsky 2-3-4 combination. That'd be really interesting to see. Up to 190 now with Mr. Black, who took Miles Bridges with the last pick. His last 3 picks have been strong. Garland, Zubats, and Bridges. I've liked what he's done. Actually, I like what he's done with most of them. And then he goes ahead and ruins it with Robert Williams. Oh, that's not true, because Tristan Thompson's going to miss the beginning of the season, so Williams is going to have an option there. Interesting, Grant Williams hasn't gone, who I think is going to be the starter for this team while Kemba Walker is out. Rob Williams, we know the per minute numbers are great, but there's just too many issues with him and too many guys in front of him when everyone's healthy that to be an every night contributor. It's probably a little bit early to me for Robbie Williams. The Rock DJ. 191 is Aiden. Aiden, what are you going to do? Mm, 190. Oh, your time's running down, mate. Make your pick. Let's go. Dario Saric. All right.
Who's next?
The King's Gambit was next, and he took Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and then Marcus Morris is gone. It looks like I am going to be in the business of getting Kyle Anderson, which is it's just gross. Like, I just do not feel good about it. All right, screw it. Let's take Kyle Anderson. It's gross, man. I needed another forward, but I got him. All right, now we're into some upside picks with these last couple. So Eric Gordon goes at 194. Kyle Anderson goes at 195. I couldn't be less enthused about that pick if I tried, really. Just, yeah, could not be less into it. So my team's looking strong in rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, field goal percentage with strong free throw percentage. Threes not great, and points really not good at all. Malik Monk. Is Malik Monk going to be in the rotation? Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, LaMelo Ball, Cody Martin, who looked really good. Monk had this great run at the end of last season, but is he even going to play? I don't know. It's worth a look for sure next round, because if he blows up, he blows up. But how? There's just too many guys ahead of him. It's a little worrisome to me. I don't dislike it completely, but there is some risk there for sure. What have we got? Oh, yeah, there it is. The future MVP, Kyle Kuzma, goes at 198. Kuzma's not good, but at this spot, it's not horrendous. I don't believe he was even a top 200 player last year, though, so maybe it is horrendous. Dorian Finney-Smith goes at 198. I think Finney-Smith will likely move to the bench eventually when Porzingis is back, but we're still a way away from that. So that's not bad. Nemanja Bjelica goes. And then Josh the Hitman Hart rounds out round 10. That's 200 picks done. Now we're into the bench. Let's get absolutely wacky. I can't find my button.
Yeah!
201 Bangu. That's 10 rounds in. Prince of Dry Baths is sitting on top, followed by my team, then King's Gambit. So pretty close up the top between us three. Paddy Williams. Now that is... Williams has looked pretty good. There hasn't been any Thad Young, though, so we'll see how Thad Young impacts those minutes. Maybe Young's out of the rotation. That would be an ideal scenario. Williams has looked pretty good, I've thought, most of the time here for the Bulls on court. So not bad at pick number 201 to get a bit of an upside pick. Who are my upside guys that I'm looking at here? It's pretty rough. Svi? Yeah, maybe it's Svi. Grant Williams? Devin Vassell? I don't know. Rudy Gay, that's not an upside pick, but he just went. First of all, was Cody Zeller, sorry. And then Rudy Gay. Now we're up to Pickle Ricks at 204. Now, out of these three picks, they're not all going to be flyer picks. The majority are, but not. I think we might go 2 flyers. Is it Svi? Is it Grant? Is it Vassell? Do I just take the flyer on Vassell? Justice Winslow goes at 206. I might leave Vassell for later, to be honest. Let's just throw him in the queue for later on. Okogie? I need some rebounds. Tristan Thompson? Maybe it's Tristan Thompson. Yeah, that's it. Even though he's injured, but this is a bench guy. Oh, it is my pick. Tristan Thompson, draft. All right, thank you. So after Rudy Gay, it was John Ray Hunter, Justice Winslow, and then Tristan Thompson. I didn't really realize it was my pick, but there you go. It was my selection there. So Tristan Thompson comes in. He is hurt at the moment. He'll miss the beginning of the season, but just trying to solidify some of my rebound numbers. Gives me 5 really strong categories at the moment. My free throws and threes need some work, so let's try and get someone in with these next couple of picks. Svi Mikhailuk is going to be on the board there. After Tristan, it goes Dwight Howard and DJ Augustin in this draft. I'm going to put Mikhailuk into my queue. I've got Vassell in the queue as well for my last 2 picks. Ben McLemore goes at 209. Daniel Apartment is another option we can look at here for the Rockets. Who else is around? There's not many free throw guys that are left. Brady Wanamaker, Monty Morris, Kelly Olynyk. That might work for me. Oops, clicked the wrong link there. Apologize for that. After Macklemore, Trevor Ariza, and then Svi Mikhailuk. So I was going to take Mikhailuk. Ariza's interesting. I don't think he plays a single second for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, whether he's traded or not remains to be seen. I just don't think he's going to play for the Thunder at all. It's like Andre Iguodala. It's like, we traded for you, but hey, I'm dealing with family stuff. And they went, fine, mate, don't come. Like, just don't come. So we'll see what happens there. Kevon Looney goes at 212. I actually really like that Looney pick. I think that's a solid one. Let's have a look. Man, James Harden looks fat as. Jackson Hayes goes. Carmelo Anthony next. Derrick Favors. We're into real backup territory here at the moment, and that's what happens in a 2010. You got to find those right players. Josh Okogie is someone that I am marginally interested in getting here. Svi went. That's who I wanted, wasn't it? I'm still a long way away. I've got 19 more picks. 235 is my next pick. We're at 216 now. Favors went at 215. Kendrick Nunn. Okay. Daniel House next. Kendrick Nunn, is he even in the rotation? I'm not sure. Maybe he is, but at this point, I don't think you care too much. At 216, it's worth having a crack at. I'm not all that convinced with him. I need some free throws. Maybe it's Monty Morris for me. Yeah. Although I don't know how that's going to work with Campazzo, but let's put Morris into the queue there. Kelly Olynyk goes. That's a strong pick from you, Faku. Malachi Flynn. He's looked awesome, Malachi Flynn. But Van Vliet, Lowry, Norman Powell all ahead of him. Terrence Davis, Matt Thomas. Flynn could jump ahead of those. And look, let's be honest, teams are stupid. I had Flynn, I think, in the top 20 of my mock draft. I'm pretty sure. Maybe even higher. I know people had him in the top 10. He looks unbelievable so far. And to let him slide to 29 when you're picking stiffs like Udoka Azubuike, Emmanuel Quickly. Like, what are teams doing? Missing on guys like that. Onyeka Okongwu goes there to round out round 11 at pick number 220. Okongwu's injured. I'm not sure how that's going to go for him when he begins the season. It's not serious. But that Flynn looks so good. It's just finding enough of a role as a best case scenario fourth guard. There'll be nights when he has opportunities if they sit Lowry or Van Vliet. But he looks great already. Bol goes at 221. I'm not convinced Bol is in the rotation every night. I think he and PJ Dozier are fighting to be the 11th man in that rotation for the Nuggets. I'm not convinced that he plays every night. But he can put up numbers, we know that, and it's worth a flyer, I guess, at this spot, and that's what people are obviously doing with some of these flyer picks coming off the board. Lonnie Walker's going to be an option here as well. Desmond Bane goes next at 222. Richie Beno. Got to hit that one.
2 for 222.
Thad Young, 223. See, look at that. Just absolute upside with a Kongwu, Bolt, and Bain, and then boring ass Thad Young. And that is what Faku's doing, just drafting some boring players. But he took some upside a little bit earlier with Campazzo. Who is next? 224. It's it's Zach who's on the clock. Come on, Zachy. Throw one out there, my guy. Just trying to jump back and forward, see what's going on. Tyus Jones. Oh, piss off. Monty Morris goes at pick number 226. I have to rethink what I'm going to do there. Is it Vassell? Lonnie Walker? Who can help me? Paddy Mills? I'm just not confident the Mills is going to even play every night. Aaron Holiday? Do I go the double holidays? After Monty Morris was Enes Kanter, Eric Pascal, the triangle, Jeremy Lamb, who's not going to be back for a couple of months, and I'm not sure what his role is going to be even when he returns. That's a little bit of a risky selection there. 229. Time for another drink of water, I'm thinking. All right. In love with the Roko goes with Frankie Ntilikina. Solid enough upside pick there. 230 is one show, Hernan Gomez. Next up at 231 is Aiden for his pick. What is Aiden going to do? What am I going to do, actually? That's a really bloody good question that I should start to address. Do I take Brad Wanamaker? I think I might. That's pretty rough. And then get Vassell on the back go around. Chetty Osman, Jermichael Green. It's a couple of picks away from mine. Josh Okogie. Bobby Portis, maybe? Jabari Parker. Is he even going to play? I don't think so. Alex Caruso goes next at 234. Parker goes at 233. Caruso at 234. It is my pick. Let's just go super boring with Wanamaker and then fling it around to Vassell with the next one. So I'll grab Wanamaker there to get some assists and some free throw percentage back onto my team. And then we'll go with Vassell with the last selection is my guess. 20-team league, punting is more important as well, in my opinion. So that's why my team is looking at a pretty hard punt at this stage. After Wanamaker, it's Terrence Davis. Not sure he's going to be ready to start the season. I believe he's got a court date on the same day as opening night, so I'm not sure he's going to play. And, of course, Davis was great as well in that preseason game. I thought Flynn was better. And Flynn doesn't have the stigma of being an absolute shit bloke like Terrence Davis does at this point. Pick 237. Winding it down for the Pickled Ricks. Willie Cauley-Stein, who apparently is banging in threes now. Now, he barely played, and he's behind Kleber and Powell for those front court minutes. And Porzingis, of course, when he comes back, but not bad. Mo Bamba, who's still recovering from COVID, allegedly. Maybe he's not, maybe he is. But Kem Birch is playing in front of him at the moment. Josh Okogie, I love that one from you. Lou Rosa taking Josh Okogie there, who is starting. And then Aaron Holiday, I also love that one, Bangu. He was in the mix for me if I wasn't going to take that flyer on Vassell to at least begin this season. Punch Bob Shipbloke, Bobby Portis goes at 242. We are rounding the home stretch here. And this is, absolutely just an upside pick for me to get to Vassell, if that is in fact what I do. Grant Williams, I think, is someone who should start coming off the board. Gorgie Jeng, James Ennis, Dan Gafford as well. Zach Collins, good injury stash from you, La Rosa. That's a good pick. Next up, that was 242. At 243, the Prince of Dry Baths, the team who's at the top of the projected standings, I believe. Yes, they've been sitting there for a while. Takes Teo Maledon. Love that as an upside pick. Maledon looked great, and I think there's going to be some opportunity for him coming at some point this season. He looked really, really good in that first game. All right. After Maledon, it's Luke, who's at 245, looking to make his pick. Make your pick, my guy, so that I can chuck in Vassell and be hopeful. Hopefully be hopeful. Lonnie Walker. So you take a Spurs wing. I'll take a Spurs wing. Just to see, for the beginning of the season, let's just see how that goes. Because I think with White and Johnson out, Vassell will get an opportunity. The Shark, Bruce Brown, haven't played this one for a while.
Baby shark,
And I'm not sure how much I'm going to play it this season, because I'm just not sure he's going to be a rotation guy, even though I think he's really good. He should probably play over Landry Shamet, but we'll see whether they do that or not. That was 247. 248 is the Mockingbird. And he takes Markeith Morris and then Flaming Mo Wagner. 249 to Flaming Mo Wagner. What are we looking at here? Just got to check in on the 30 deep draft, make sure it's not my selection, and thankfully it is not. This one just running all the way down. Aiden, last pick. Make your pick, mate. Make your pick. Dwayne the Undertaker Dedman. Now, Dedman doesn't actually play for a team, so that's a curious selection. Jalen Brunson goes next at 251. The burner. Cole Anthony. Love that at 252. I thought he's really solid as a backup point guard, and he's going to get minutes, I'd say, straight away. Really like that one from you there, Rocco. Mo Harkless, another Flaming Mo. And then Taco Fall, which literally just a terrible, terrible pick. Matt Thomas goes next at 256. Space Ghost says, thanks for hosting. I'm going to head out and eat some Built Bars. That's a great decision. Have some Built Go while you're there as well. Matt Thomas goes at 255. Thomas could hit some threes for sure. Flynn coming for his minutes, though, pretty hard at this point. 5 picks left. What are we doing with these last 5 picks of a deep-ass draft? MC Hamidou Diallo.
Stop. Hammer time.
Probably going to be a starter for the Thunder. Gorgie Jeng, that's a good one. He was hanging around. That's a good pick there. Boban Marjanovic, that's a terrible pick. Don't know what we're doing there. Just hate it. No value in Boban at all, I don't think. And then we've got last 2 picks, Wu-Tang and the Liberty Lake Mastiffs. Wu-Tang, what are you doing? 259. Let's round this big fella out. Don't think about it too much. Just make the pick so I can round this, so I can finish this off and get this uploaded. Wu-Tang's dropped out, of course he has. Why would you drop out now when it's your last pick? Awesome. Probably not his fault, to be fair. Let's see. No, going to wind it all the way down. Thanks, appreciate that. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Not a bad pick. I thought Rondé looked really good. And then the last pick, Grant Williams, which is a super strong selection. So I do like that one. That is the end of the mock draft. I'll go and tally up the standings, and I'll come back and I'll show you how it all looks at the end of the draft. All right, so just recapping my team. Steph Curry, Kyle Lowry, Jonas Valanciunas, Draymond Green, Thomas Bryant, Alfred Payton, Daniel Tice, Isaac Okoro, Justin Holiday, Kyle Anderson, Tristan Thompson, Brad Wanamaker, and Devin Vassell. So I'm really strong in rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and field goal percentage with a really good or solid enough free throw percentage. Not bad in terms of turnovers. Okay in threes and not good in points. But my team looks pretty good. So if we flip it over now to the projected standings of how this league goes according to my projections, we've used per game value with replacement players on for guys that are injured, and I'm using 50% of the bench because in a league this deep, we're going to be cycling through that bench pretty strongly. So I'm sitting there at the top. Prince of Dry Baths is number 1. Then it's me, King's Gambit, Liberty Lake Mastiffs, Luke, Zaxter, Mockingbird, Depressed Blazers fan, Faku in the Campazzo, Aiden, Bangu, Path, Clark, Lurosa, Wu-Tang, Mr. Black, Justin, Pickled Ricks, In Love with the Roko, and Crookland's Finest down the end. The only teams I'm projected to lose to are Faku at 4-5 loss, and then the team on top, which is the problem for me there, is Prince of Dry Baths. And again, you'll always seem to see this. The teams that punt assists are at the top. Now, I didn't punt assists. I went strongly at them, but look at Prince of Dry Baths and look how low his assist number is. And then the team in third, King's Gambit, look how low his assists are. They are the teams that will often find themselves right at the top by punting that assist category. It's something to look at, especially considering the run that happens on assists early on. So that is something to pay attention to. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube. Give it a comment, tell your friends, give it a thumbs up. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.